To truly understand the backbone of America, you have to begin your journey in Iowa, a state where the land stretches endlessly and the horizon is dotted with silos and barns. This is the epicenter of U.S. agriculture, a place where generations of families have tilled the soil and harvested the bounty that feeds millions. Here, relentless work and constant innovation are not just traditions, they are necessities. Iowa's farmers rise before dawn, braving unpredictable weather and long hours, to ensure that not only our nation, but much of the world, has food on their tables. The livelihoods of these farmers depend on global markets. Each year, they export billions of dollars in soybeans, pork and corn, crops and livestock that are the result of months of hard labor and careful planning. But this deep reliance on international trade makes them vulnerable. When trade relationships falter or tariffs are imposed, the effects are felt immediately. Grain elevators close, equipment sits idle, and uncertainty grows. Today, a renewed global trade war threatens the very foundation of rural life. The anxiety is palpable, as small towns worry about their future and community leaders gather to discuss how to weather the storm. The heartland, once a symbol of unwavering strength and resilience, now bears the heaviest burden of a conflict it never chose, its fate hanging in the balance as the world's economic tides shift. A trade war begins with the imposition of tariffs, taxes placed on imported goods by a government. These tariffs are designed to make foreign products more expensive, giving an advantage to domestic industries and encouraging consumers to buy locally made items. But the effects ripple far beyond store shelves. When tariffs are introduced, the cost of imported goods rises, and American manufacturers may see a temporary boost. However, these measures often spark retaliation from other countries, escalating tensions and uncertainty in global markets. In 2025, the U.S. imposed sweeping tariffs on a wide range of products, aiming to protect American jobs and industries. But major trading partners like China, Canada, and Mexico responded quickly, enacting their own tariffs on American exports. These countries specifically targeted American agriculture, slapping tariffs on key exports like soybeans, pork, and corn. For many U.S. farmers, these crops are their lifeblood, and losing access to foreign markets is devastating. For farmers, this isn't just an abstract policy debate, it's a direct hit to their bottom line. Suddenly, the prices they receive for their crops plummet, and bills start piling up. With American products now more expensive abroad, international buyers quickly turn to cheaper alternatives from other countries. U.S. grain sits unsold and farm equipment goes unused. The result is swift and severe. Farmers lose their biggest customers almost overnight. Some are forced to sell their land or close their businesses entirely. This is the harsh reality of a trade war. Fields that once fed the world become battlegrounds, and entire rural communities face an uncertain future as livelihoods hang in the balance. The world's response was swift and punishing. China, once the top buyer of U.S. soybeans, slapped on steep tariffs, putting billions in trade at risk. Canada and Mexico followed, targeting everything from dairy to pork. The European Union joined in, hitting iconic American exports. With no government bailout in sight, farmers face staggering projected losses, over $20 billion this year alone. Decades-old trade relationships are unraveling, and the demand American farmers relied on is vanishing. This isn't a temporary dip, it's a fundamental disruption. The fallout is visible across farm country. Soybean prices have plunged over 30%, while costs for fertilizer and fuel soar. Grain bins overflow with unsold crops, and forward contracts are canceled as buyers disappear. Farmers face mounting debt and uncertainty, unable to plan for the future. Stories of dairy dumped and pork producers facing bankruptcy are now common. The foundation of the agricultural economy, selling what you grow at a fair price, is crumbling. Real families, real businesses are on the brink. The most lasting damage may be the shift in global trade itself. What we're witnessing isn't just a temporary disruption but a fundamental change in how the world does business. The ripple effects of recent events have shaken the confidence of international buyers who now see the U.S. as a less reliable partner than before. International buyers needing reliable suppliers are turning to Brazil, Australia, and Argentina. These countries are stepping up, eager to fill the void left by American uncertainty. Their ports are bustling, their export facilities expanding, and their reputations for consistency are growing stronger with every shipment. New alliances are forming, deliberately excluding the U.S. in boardrooms and at trade summits. Deals are being struck that leave American producers on the sidelines. These new relationships are built on trust, stability, and the promise of uninterrupted supply. Our reputation as a dependable supplier is fading, replaced by a political volatility risk premium. Buyers now factor in the risk of sudden policy changes, export bans, or logistical chaos when considering American goods. This uncertainty makes U.S. products less attractive, even if prices are competitive. Competitors market themselves as stable and trustworthy, while the U.S. is seen as unpredictable and replaceable. They highlight their steady governments, clear regulations, and long-term commitments to global partners, making a compelling case for buyers to shift their business elsewhere. Once buyers find new partners, they rarely return. Trust, once broken, is difficult to restore. These new trade relationships become habits, and over time, the U.S. risks being forgotten as a go-to supplier. The world's supply chains are being redrawn, and America is being left out. Shipping routes are shifting, contracts are being rewritten, and the global map of agricultural trade is changing before our eyes. This loss of trust is far harder to rebuild than a collapsed price. For American farmers and exporters, the consequences could last for generations, reshaping not just markets but livelihoods and communities across the country. Farming is built on trust in the land, the weather, and the market. That trust, once extended across oceans, is now shattered. The crisis ripples through rural America. Equipment dealers lay off workers, small towns struggle, and young people leave. Stress and anxiety rise as families face losing farms held for generations. Farmers don't want handouts, they want fair access to global markets. If the U.S. doesn't act fast to repair trade relationships, the damage could be permanent. Restoring trust is essential, not just for the economy but for the American way of life. But from the fractured soil of crisis, resilience begins to take root. Across the Midwest, farmers innovate, experimenting with new crops, forging local partnerships, and investing in sustainable practices. Cooperatives form, connecting neighbors and pooling resources to weather uncertainty together. Some farmers look beyond lost export markets, selling directly to consumers or local businesses. Universities and agricultural groups step in, offering training and support for navigating a changing landscape. The journey is far from easy, yet amid hardship, a quiet determination grows. Communities rally, redefining what it means to endure. For American agriculture, the future now depends on adaptability and unity, on finding hope in every harvest and strength in every setback. As the dust of trade wars settles, American farmers face a landscape forever changed. The long-term consequences ripple far beyond lost profits, shaping rural economies, family traditions, and the very fabric of agricultural life. Some farms close their gates for good, while others merge or diversify, embracing technology and alternative markets. Lessons learned in crisis become blueprints for the future. Crop rotation to heal depleted soils, digital platforms to reach new buyers, and advocacy for fairer global trade policies. Support networks grow stronger, linking farmers with mental health services, financial guidance, and community initiatives. Government programs offer relief and investment, but recovery is slow and uneven. Still, hope persists. Younger generations return to the land, inspired to build more resilient, sustainable farms. Partnerships blossom between urban and rural communities, fostering mutual support and understanding. In the fields and in the halls of policy, the story of American agriculture continues, shaped by the scars of the past, yet driven by an unwavering commitment to feed the world and protect the land for generations to come. As the pages turn on this turbulent chapter, the enduring spirit of American agriculture stands tall. The trade wars have left their mark, etched into the memory of every farmer and echoed in the rhythms of rural life. Yet, through adversity, new strengths have emerged. Communities have banded together, forging bonds of solidarity and innovation. Farmers have adapted, blending tradition with technology and creating new pathways to global markets. The lessons learned are clear. Resilience is not just about weathering storms, but about growing stronger in their wake. Diversification, sustainable practices, and robust support systems are now the foundation stones of a more secure agricultural future. Policymakers and producers alike recognize the importance of fair, stable trade and the need to protect both livelihoods and the land itself. Looking forward, American agriculture faces fresh challenges: climate change, shifting consumer demands, and an ever-evolving global market. But with adaptability, unity, and a renewed sense of purpose, the sector is poised to thrive. The next generation of farmers carries the torch, ready to write the next chapter, one of hope, innovation, and stewardship. In the story of American agriculture, the scars of the past serve as reminders, not obstacles. The land endures, and so too does the resolve to nourish a nation and a world, now and for the years to come.